Good afternoon, crafters, and how are you? Welcome to the P2PCrafts online show, brought to you by From Picture to Page and Beyond Crafts Show, our scrapbooking, mixed media art and papercraft community. I'm your host, Wendy Stewart, and I'm super excited to be with you for this session. P2P Crafts Online has brought you over 30 demonstrations and interviews with our talented guest artists and retailers. For all of the details, please head over to our website from picturetopageandbeyond.com.au, where you can get all the information about this show, what's coming up on the show, details, links to our sponsors and our guests. While you're there, make sure you're on the mailing list so you can get all the replays of this show, all the information for our upcoming events and classes. We don't want you to miss out, so please make sure you have subscribed. Now, we would like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Darkroom Door and Uniquely Creative. They have been wonderful in helping us bring this show to you. So Darkroom Door is located on the central coast of New South Wales. They are a family-owned and operated business and believe in supporting the independent craft stores in Australia. They create unique red rubber stamps and stencils, and through their blog, videos and workshops, Darkroom Door inspires stampers and artists all over the world. Uniquely Creative are passionate about making beautiful stamps, dies and embellishments. Through their Creative Kit Club, they specialise in creating kits with matching papers and products, so it's easy to create your projects at home. Now, if you're watching on Facebook, live with us, or a replay, or on our YouTube channel, we want to know you're there. So please pop in the comments, say hello like Sandy and Jenny and Natalie and Diana. It's wonderful to have you all with us. Thank you so much for joining us. And also, if you have any questions, please pop them in the comments. We will endeavour to answer them either during the session or straight after the session. Our amazing guest will go and answer them. I cannot tell you what a personal delight it is for me to be able to host this session and welcome someone I've known for a long time. She is the upper echelon of our art journaling world. What she has done this year for us is incredible. And I think we are so fortunate and blessed to have the amazing Niamh Baly join us. So I'm just going to bring her on screen. Hi, Niamh.
What a welcome. Thank you.
Well, just calling it like I see it.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank
How
you so
are you
much.
today?
I am very, very well. Thank you.
Awesome.
I'm rocking the pink bow my children gave me to wear.
I'm loving that pink bow. I absolutely love it. It's making your eyes pop today, which is awesome.
Thank you. So if anyone wants to purchase it, it's a Sky Paw Patrol one. So, look at
Okay, I'll be enabling myself of that, and next time we see each other live, we'll definitely have bows in our hair. So, Niamh, what are you going to share with us today, please?
Well, today is World Mental Health Day,
Yes.
and one of the very reasons I love art journaling is not only just to practice my art making and having fun,
Yes.
but it's my mental health escape. It's my well-being. I make time, to look after myself,
Yes.
give myself time to just decompress and just relax. So, and a lot of people do it for that reason. So today I'm going to show you a technique that I do when I don't necessarily have a goal in mind, but just
Sure.
I want to create, and it just helps me empty my mind. So that's what we're going to be doing today.
That's
and
wonderful.
hopefully some
And I
people...
think, as you said, it's World Mental Health Awareness Day. And I can honestly say that craft has kept all of us sane this year with classes and amazing artists like yourself giving so freely, so generously, enabling purchasing of all varieties. Let me tell you. Oh, no, I'm the biggest enabler in the world. Just ask all the girls who are watching, they will tell you. So,
Yeah.
Niamh, I'm going to give you a moment to just swap your camera over. And, I think you might have frozen, but I'm just going to give you a moment and I'll come back to you in just a second.
Okay.
So while we get Niamh ready to give us a demonstration, just remember that, we are a wonderful community. We're all here. We're all in this together. So please don't ever feel alone. There's always somebody listening. There's always somebody to reach out to. So Niamh's ready to go. I'm going to hand over the screen to her.
Yay.
All yours, Niamh.
Woohoo. Okay. Now I have slightly pre-prepared.
Sure.
Hopefully some people have done some homework from yesterday. So if you watched my session yesterday where we did this page, I just finished it off by putting a stencil, a quote over it. We're going to be doing a similar background to what we did yesterday. So I've just gessoed my page, and with the leftover black paint, I put some on my page. You can see it's done really, really carefully, just like what I usually do. So basically today we're just going to be playing with acrylic paints. I do have some acrylic inks as well, or if you've got the gloss sprays,
Yes.
you can use those. If you don't have them, just use watered down acrylic paints, or you can use paint pens. Basically just use whatever you've got. So like yesterday, I'm just going to put out some paint. I'm not going to blend my colours together as much as I did yesterday. I'm using a fairly dry brush, and I'm just sort of putting different patches on. In class, or in the session yesterday, which you'll find on the P2P page if you're here, we talked about analogous colours, which are colours that sit together on the colour wheel. And while we're kind of going to be using that principle today, you don't have to.
Okay.
So just use whatever makes you happy.
Sure.
Because that's what today's all about, just making paint and making us happy. So.
Oh, you picked up my favourite colour.
I do know you love a bit of purple.
Yes, I am the purple queen, and you're well aware of that. Oh, that looks gorgeous,
very
Niamh.
often. Those two colours blended. That was my discovery yesterday in class. The lapis and the blackberry blended together are just beautiful.
Stunning.
So, been doing this for a little while, and I still make discoveries about colours. You don't have to do 2 pages. It's just, again, what I had in my journal. So, and I work quick.
Yes. Niamh, do you normally tend to do a double page spread, or whatever?
I do, but that's just because I like working through my journals, and usually when I'm having fun, I like to do lots of it. So
yes.
It just depends. In this journal, I've done a few more single pages than I usually would.
Okay.
But, yeah, it just depends what it is, really.
Sure. And could you just tell us what journal you're using today, please?
This is the original Dina Wakley journal, so the black one.
Yeah, the black one. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I have to admit, since she came out with the blue journal, which is the one that's got the denim pages in, that's probably my favourite.
Okay.
Well, sorry, my favourite of the Dina Wakley, because I still love the Large Dilutions one.
Yes.
Because I like the thicker cotton rag paper that's in it.
Okay.
I find the thinner one and this one, once I've worked on the thicker one, I find this one harder to work with, which is a bit funny.
Yes.
But they all work. There's no right or wrong. So whatever you've got, you've got cardboard.
For sure. And it doesn't matter what journal you're using, as long as you're having fun and making a mess and enjoying yourself, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. And putting out way too much paint, which is what I've just done. But that's okay.
All good, all good.
Because we can fix it. We can always fix things.
Of course it is. And it's looking fabulous already.
There's a bit of thing. So, as I said yesterday, and as I say in most classes we teach, there's always a sort of an ugly stage of art journaling. And I think people get to this stage and go, oh, my God, what have I just created? This isn't going to go into anything. But it will. You just have to have faith. And there's always ways to fix things. So, don't worry about it too much.
No, and you're just one layer of paint away from changing it completely if need be.
That's it. So I'm just going to heat this up. Some people have really strong feelings about heating up acrylic paint. It is a type of plastic.
Yes.
You probably shouldn't, but I'm really impatient and like to get things done really quickly.
Totally.
So I do. I work in a well-ventilated garage, so, it's got lots of holes and leaks and creaks in it. But just be aware, especially if you've got things, chest problems and so on that you need extra help with.
Yes.
So basically what you just need to do is make a background. It doesn't matter what sort of background you make. So I've got a lot of sort of coolish colours in the background.
Okay.
So I'm going to put a lot of warmer colours out, or brighter colours, to do my mark making, because I want them to sort of stand out. So I am going to put some cooler colours like turquoise and a bit of lime green out here, but they're a different tone to what's in the background. Oops, I've just lost a lid.
Oh dear.
As you do. Oh, I've got that colour.
And I think the great thing about this is, we can give ourselves permission to play with any colours we want. There's no rights and wrongs. There's just, as you showed us a beautiful colour wheel yesterday, just use that to work it out if you need some extra help.
That's it. So what I've got here is a whole range of brushes. Now, I do have some Dina Wakley brushes here because they're the thinnest ones I could find.
Yes.
But usually when I'm doing mic making, I actually go to my local $2 shop, $3 shop, reject shop, sorry. And
Got
get
you, yes.
kids' brushes because they're usually pretty rubbish. These ones are actually quite good, but they come in lots of different shapes and sizes and they're really, really cheap. And one thing I found when I was painting with my kids is I just sort of sit with them and make marks and find out what different marks the brushes can make.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
Yeah, go for cheap brushes and you'll find some amazing stuff. So I've just got a range of different sizes and shapes, flats, rounds, pointy ones, whatever you've got. And all we're going to do is just sit and play. So what I like to do is put my marks in 3 areas on my page.
Yes.
And I like to make sure that they overlap. So I'm not just keeping it in that little white area. I'm extending it through the blue and the purples just to make sure it sort of pops out.
Beautiful.
And unlike yesterday when I was kind of talking about colour theory, today I'm not really. So the marks on the top are actually just, I want them to be really contrasting, to really show up. We're going to put lots of layers on, so they're just going to go all over the place.
Fabulous. And Marg was just asking what paints you're using. So they're Dina Wakley acrylic paints, Marg.
Yep. So these are heavy-bodied paints. The only difference to that is they're slightly more opaque. They hold their peak a little bit if you're really interested in that sort of thing. Any acrylic paint will do exactly the same. The brilliant thing about acrylic paint is because it is, once it's dried, it's permanent. You can get a really good layer of things. So that's why I like doing it, because I love to layer up my paints. If I was doing this with watercolour with the colours I've used in the background, that would be starting to look a little bit muddy at this stage.
Sure.
So there's no real thinking about what you're doing. You're just making marks on your page. So,
and I think this is incredibly relaxing, Niamh.
It is. It's. I always struggle to use the wrong term because to me it's mindless. But I suppose a better word is mindful. But I'm kind of trying to empty my mind. I'm trying not to think about it because I'm a chronic overthinker. So if I can do something that I don't actually have to think all that much about.
And I think with these, you're actually giving yourself permission to play and just be free and just
that's it.
Let your inner artist just explode all over a page or a project.
And one thing when I'm doing these sorts of projects is, or when I'm teaching these sorts of projects, I have a lot of people, especially when I'm doing them in class, go, oh, but I can't doodle. I can't mic make.
Right.
It's like, well, everyone can, but I can understand where you're going with that. And Mum's probably going to kill me for saying this, but she came to class, she was doing something with me and I was talking about it. And she did a project following my instructions, but hers looked completely different, which is fine because that's mixed media. But when we kind of looked at it, the mic making that she was doing was very, very rigid and very ordered and patterned.
Right.
Whereas mine's was crooked and large bits and little bits and different sizes and different shapes.
Yes.
So it's, I suppose, about freeing yourself. And there's nothing wrong with the way that she did it. It was just a different way. She was trying to work out what was so different between the two of them.
Yes.
So if you want your artwork to look a little bit more free and a little bit more organic, mix up the sizes, have some big splodges and some little splodges, or don't have them in even rows, or have one slightly longer than the other, just so it looks hand drawn, because it is. It doesn't, if it's all rigid and patterned, and again there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but it looks a little bit more controlled or printed or, not man-made.
And we want our mark making to be unstructured and free and to just let it flow.
That's it. So, the other thing is a lot of people get caught into, and again, it's natural. I can see this patch of purple, so I'm going to keep my pattern in that patch of purple.
Understand.
But by sort of flowing it through the page, it draws your eye and makes it, follow where you want it to go. So, oops.
It's looking incredible already, Niamh.
So just by even, I tend to use the sort of same pattern with, with one colour, do the same pattern, because, again, that takes the thinking out of it. I'm doing green, so I'm just going to do it the same way I've done it in the other patches. But if you can see how I'm applying my paint with this one, I'm just sort of splodging it down. So it's got a slightly different shape from actually drawing with the paintbrush.
For sure.
So that's what I mean by playing with the stuff that you've got. And again, you don't need to use paintbrushes. You could use a skewer, you could use your paint bottles itself to do little dots and so on. Whatever you've got will work. I'm going to do...
Isn't that just such a divine colour?
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I love this turquoise. And again, I've got that yellow there, but I'm not afraid to paint over the top of it to get a different shape on the page.
You're getting so many likes and so many loves. People are loving what you're doing already.
That's good. I'm glad. I hope people are going to have a go at this when they get home or when they're doing it along with me too. And I'd love to see it too. So please, 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 if you post into the Paper Posse group or somewhere like that, so we can see what you've been creating.
That's my plan for this week. I promise I haven't had time to do my homework from last night, but I'll get to it this week.
Yeah, so I'm getting all my homework out of the way because I have to go back to school tomorrow. So
okay.
My playtime's over. Okay, what have I got now? Oh, let's see. So, I like that pink on there.
Is that the magenta you used?
It's magenta.
Yes.
Yeah. And again, they're really simple shapes. And if you're really not sure about mark making, put some paint out and get a kid or a grandchild to paint with you and see what they do and copy what they're doing. Because I'll guarantee you'll get some ideas.
That's a brilliant idea.
Because kids are happy just to make and do. They don't think about it. They just have fun. And that's, I suppose, for me, has been really freeing with my kids too, sort of just watching what they do. So there, you can have marks that don't even make sense, sort of like an upside down U shape. I really hate having paint on my paintbrush and not having somewhere to put it, so I have a little use it up journal, and I just scribble into that. So again, this is great for not thinking about things because, again, I've got this really scribbly backgrounds in here that I can just go and chuck something over the top of.
Perfect.
And have interesting backgrounds to play with later on. So don't waste anything.
No. I think all of us crafters, we don't like wasting anything. So having a journal like that while you're working is a brilliant idea. And I think a lot of us have been doing that for a long time.
That's it. So even using the end of your paintbrush. And again, it's really random. I'm getting big and small dots.
And it's really tying the whole piece together, Niamh, and just blending one section to the other so perfectly.
It is, and it's not tricky. And a lot of people, sorry, that's not fair. But when I've taught classes, particularly sort of in face-to-face classes, people want to get it right, which I totally get. But sometimes just playing is the most important thing.
I love that.
Because you're never going to get it right the first time. But that's okay, because you're going to learn something from it. So you're going to learn, I really like that shape, or I really hate that colour over there and I wish I'd used a different colour. But that's the bit that I'll stick something over the top of if I really don't like it.
And none of our works of art are going to look like anybody else's, and we have to be okay with that and just enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, and I totally understand that's a really hard thing. And when we talk about sort of mental health, and we are naturally predispositioned to judging ourselves against other people.
Yes.
Even me, people sort of say, oh, but you do this and you do that, and I'll look at other people's work and go, oh, I could never do that. So we naturally do it, and it's just talking to ourselves, okay, well, I might not be able to do it like that way, but I can do it my own way, and I like my own way because I like my colours. So
there you go. I love it, Niamh. I love it.
Yeah. So it's just sort of changing this perspective, I suppose, of things a little bit. Okay, so I've got sort of all my paint down in the background. You can, again, do as much or as little as you want. Now,
yes.
As I like to, tell people in my classes or when I'm doing my YouTube channels, I tend to go to the utmost degree because I just like keep creating because it makes me happy and
yes.
I can play with it. Stop whenever you feel comfortable. If you have thought, there's way too much on here, that's fine. You don't have to put as much as I put on here. A lot of people, and this is one of the things, I do judge myself because I absolutely adore when people can use white space. I am not very good at using white space. So, but that's okay because I can add white space in a different way. But, if you like white space and you're good at it, keep it in.
Exactly. And each to their own.
That's it. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly, because I just can't bear to waste paint, chuck this paint in here and then I'm going to get rid of it. Oh, I had some.
And those colours are all going to work so well together.
It's an interesting mix, I have to say. I probably should have cleaned my brush, but, I'll come up with something for it, I'm sure. If I do, I'll post it in the group.
Oh, please do. Please do. I'm sure you will, Niamh.
Right. But if you didn't have a little journal like that, even if you've got a scrap piece of paper or some paper that you work underneath,
yes.
paint it onto that, and you can always cut it up, and they make great card fronts and scrapbook pages and so on. Right, so the next thing that we're going to use is some inks. So if you didn't have acrylic inks, gloss sprays work really well.
Yes.
Or you could use watered down acrylic paint. There's just a difference, I suppose. I can't even think of the word. Consistency to using inks. I do love using a black drawing ink, I have to say, just because you get those beautiful flows and it's just so intense and black against the surface.
Yeah, for sure,
it gives you something different. Right, so again, just using your brushes. I'm just going to move this out of the way like this. I don't know if you can still see it when I do that.
Okay. Yeah, we can see fine, Niamh. Thank you.
Awesome. So I like to have my page tilted up so I can draw over the top and get it to drip. So again, you can just see you've got these gorgeous layers going on top of each other. So then I go back in and kind of load it up. So I'll drip down the page, except I don't have enough ink.
Niamh, so there's a question being asked by Diana, please.
Yeah.
If you could recommend, is there a paper you can recommend if you want to create outside a journal, for example, a 12 by 12 for a scrapbook layout background to use, the materials and the paints that you're using?
I don't know. If it was me, because I have got a load of American craft white paper
yes.
card, 12 by 12, I'd use that. that's just because I've got it here, so I wouldn't actually go out and buy anything special.
No.
If I suppose you could get watercolor paper and cut that down to size.
And I think you could always just play and see what the paints do and then incorporate that into a scrapbook layout, possibly.
That's it. So I suppose the easier answer to that is I'm not too particular about the papers I use, so I don't mind if it buckles
For
and
sure.
does strange sorts of things.
For sure.
But I know for some people, you know, longevity, I can't even get the word out, you might want to use something different.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But, yeah, if it was me, and that's because that's what I've got sitting here,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
what I do.
That white is just making it pop so beautifully, Niamh.
It's fabulous, isn't it? So the great thing about the white acrylic ink is it is just that little bit more oh my goodness, my words really have gone today. Opaque. So it sort of really does stand out against the colours in the background.
Yes.
So you can sort of get those really cool effects with it. Okay. So I am going to dry that off a little bit because I'm going to put the black on now too.
Okay.
And I do want it to stay clear. And obviously you probably should clean out your ink palettes because I've put the yellow in where I've obviously had blue before and I've got a really
Yes, you
interesting
obviously
colour.
did, Niamh.
Right, there you go. These things happen.
Absolutely. And we're going really good. We've still got about 5 to 7 minutes to go, so you're doing great.
Awesome. Well, I'll get the black on so you can see that.
Yeah, perfect. That'll be wonderful.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So, where are we? Got a nice fine brush here. With the black, it's all about, again, just adding in that extra detail. So I love sort of flowy leaves going across the page.
Gorgeous.
And again, you can see I'm being so careful with how I'm drawing this.
That's the Niamh way of doing things, and we love it.
Well, I've just found that, and it's taken a while to do this because I've always wanted to do things, you know, nice and neat and make it look good. But I've actually found the more lines you put around something, the better it looks. And I don't know, I'm sure there's a scientific reason for that, but yeah, it's just the way it is. So again, I haven't really left that white to dry out.
No, understand
okay.
that, yes.
Oh, we've got yellow on it now. And pay attention to where you're sticking your brush.
It's looking wonderful, Niamh, really wonderful.
So then you can go back and add in your details. Now, as I said before, some people don't feel comfortable doodling or drawing or doing something like this on their page, which I totally get. But there's a whole heap of stamps that you can use that have got these gorgeous line-drawn effects on them, which I'll show you in a second.
No, we're good. We've got time. Don't worry. I'll give you plenty of warning when we hit the 5-minute mark. You've got plenty of time yet.
Awesome. Time for that. So these are 2 stamps from Tim Holtz from his mark making set that I've just covered myself in ink from last year. But there's lots of different versions of these out that you can get. So if you didn't want to draw on yourself, you can
there you
get
go.
your stamps out. Now, it's not necessarily going to stamp perfectly on here, but I'm going to show you a trick because I like showing you guys tricks.
Oh, we love when you show us tricks and tips, and we always learn so much when you're on.
So if you are not comfortable doing your own drawing, stamp something out lightly, or, you know, if it's not perfect, that's fine. Get a paint pen or get a black pen of some sort. So you can see that's quite light down here. and hold it quite loosely and just draw over the top.
Yes.
So you've got that stamped image as a bit of a template for you. And if you go over the lines or it doesn't go over the lines completely, well, that's a little bit of shading for you. So you don't need
Yes,
to worry about it.
absolutely, Niamh.
And once you've started drawing a little bit, you kind of get a little bit of confidence because your hands practice moving that way that you can kind of go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to try and extend this a little bit. Okay, well, I've got this one here and it's finished, so I might draw this up here now. And they've both got double loops, so I'm going to try a double loop. So it doesn't look exactly the same as the stamped image below, but it's enough that it blends in and no one's really going to know the difference as you do it. So have a look at the stamps you've got and see, well, what can I use to help me with my mark making? And same with sort of dots and dashes. Some people are just, I don't know if it's going to look okay. Well, stamp it out first. You can always draw over the top of it your paint pens to change the colour, or use it as a bit of an idea and then extend from it.
Niamh, we just had a question in the comments. If you could tell us what the gold ink was that you used, please.
The gold ink, I haven't quite used it yet, but it's the Amsterdam Light Gold.
Thank you.
So we're going to splatter with that in a minute. Because what's mark making without a bit of splatter?
Oh, we need splatter. We definitely need splatter.
Okay, I'm really impatient. You don't have to do this, but I'm just mopping off the excess ink I've got. But you can see, even with mopping that off, that black's still really black and intense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one way to incorporate this all together, I had all those light colours. Now I've got the black over the top, and it is quite dominating. So get your paint pen out, or again, you can use a really fine paintbrush and your white ink. And again, we're just going to draw over the top of it. And we're going to use really dry off our ink.
I'm glad it's not just me this happens to.
No. It's one of those things, do as I do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, I love it, Niamh. Absolutely love it.
Either that or I'm using my paint pen that's not very good. One or the other.
I think I've destroyed quite a few of the Posca paint pens because I have been impatient.
I actually broke out a brand new one. I think that one's dead is the problem.
That's because you've been creating so many incredible pieces of art.
Okay, so you can see there I am being really scratchy with what I'm doing, and that's okay. I'm not necessarily following the lines.
And you're not pressing too hard, I take it either, Niamh?
No, not particularly. I am trying to get some ink out because I've just killed the paint. Well, I haven't killed it. I've just... obviously, you don't necessarily have to do this straight away. You can leave things to dry.
Right.
I don't expect you to sort of try and do this in half an hour.
Marilyn, you're absolutely right. Niamh makes this look so easy, and it is absolutely stunning and beautiful.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Lots of love coming your way, Niamh.
Well, it's all being returned in bucketfuls to you guys.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, right. I really have done a number on this pen.
No, it's Sunday afternoon. It doesn't want to play.
It doesn't want to play. All right, I wonder if this will work. I usually use paint pens because my paint pens are usually good for everything.
Yes.
But this is the Pentel pens, gel pens, which usually I don't have much success with, but obviously today they're trying to prove me wrong. So
Today it wanted its moment to shine.
It did, obviously. So whatever white paint pen or pen works for you.
Yes.
Just use that to help go over your images. Again, be really sketchy and loose. Double lines, scribbly lines all work. And what it does is just lightens that black, gives a bit of focus to the page as well, ties it into the white you've already got on the page.
Beautiful.
And same with your paint pen ones, which again, I suppose you think, well, I've already done the black line. Why would I put some extra white over the top? But it's, again,
For sure.
just giving those extra things. And I'm not following over the black lines. I'm going sort of in between them. But it's just enough to give that loose effect.
Beautiful, Niamh. So we've got about 5 minutes to go, just so that you know.
Oh, I'm sure we can add 10 tons more stuff.
I'm sure we could. And I'm sure you'll post when you've actually finished with it, you'll post it into the Papercraft Posse or in the comments on this live. That will be wonderful.
Well, I will. I'll put it into Papercraft Posse because I tried to post something into the comments before and it didn't allow me to post pictures.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's just me or if Michelle needs to talk me through that one.
No problem. Maybe in the Posse, that will be fantastic.
Yeah, cool. So you've got the white pen on there. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be white pen. So you can go in with your paint pens and add extra detail. So again, I'm not doing anything special, but just adding in some extra colour over the top, some really simple line work. Use your favourite colours. And there's no right or wrong. The only thing is don't do what I've just done and put your hand over wet paint. You really need to give it a little time to dry.
There you go.
Okay. And again, you can add some extra paint work to that.
Wonderful. That really does make it pop, Niamh. That's gorgeous.
I've just dragged my pen through a big bit of ink there, so that stopped working, but we'll fix that up later.
All right.
One of the things I like to do as well is to do some splatter over the top too. Cause a connection. I like to use a fan brush.
Yes.
This is why my iPad is covered with ink. But I find I get big drops and little drops when I use a fan brush.
Yeah, that's showing up on the screen beautifully, Niamh.
So lots of people use different ways to do it. The other thing that you can do is get your gloss sprays. As my guru, Niamh Baly, says, everything needs a pop.
Fabulous. Niamh, so we're going to come to our end of our time together.
Right. I'm just going to put this last bit on.
And then I'll swap the camera around for you.
So that's it.
Great. Thank you. Well, I'll just give you a moment to swap your camera around and we'll come back and have a chat and say goodbye. Wasn't that wonderful? Niamh is just an extraordinary artist, and what she creates and makes it look so easy, I know we can all have a go. So I think she's just about ready for us.
Yes, I am. So I was just
Hi.
Hi. I was just looking at Caroline's question. I presume she meant Posca rather than postcard. I just clean it off on a wet wipe and just reprime it again, and it usually comes back.
Wonderful.
But feel like if I had more time, I would have actually heat set that between each layer rather than trying to go on.
Perfect. And Niamh, before we say goodbye, can you tell everyone where they can find more inspiration from you, please?
You can find me on YouTube. So I post 2 videos every week, and so there's lots and lots of content up there that you can go and see. You can find me on Facebook at Niamh's Art Journal, or on Instagram at Niamh Baly. Or if you would like to do some online classes with me, I've got 6 online classes available through Bev's Crosscraft, which I think Michelle's got the link to, so we can pop it up somewhere.
Certainly.
So there's lots and lots of content there that you can go and have a go at.
Well, it's been an absolute delight having you with us today. I have loved being able to spend this time with you. So thank you so much for all your inspiration, and we look forward to catching you next time.
You are very welcome. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Niamh. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So wasn't that wonderful? Thank you all for watching. We loved bringing you this session and we look forward to more. Enjoy the rest of the day, enjoy the rest of the show, and I hope you're having a crafty day.